to We Watch Movies.
I'm Ava.
And I'm Jenna.
And we watch movies. So this week we watched The Kissing Booth 3, or if you're Jenna, this week you watched the entire Kissing Booth series. Jenna's not very happy about it, but it's fine because I made her watch this movie and she had to catch up. But anyway,
I do for you.
True friendship. But anyways, yeah, so The Kissing Booth 3 is about Elle Evans, who woe is her, you know, she has a hot boyfriend and a best friend and they're both rich and she gets to go hang out with them, but also here's her huge problem. She got into Harvard and UC Berkeley, and she's just like, wow, how am I gonna choose, because Harvard has her hot boyfriend and UC Berkeley has her rich best friend, who are brothers, by the way, so it's even more complicated for her. She has so many problems, you know, and so she decides to go to Harvard to be with her hot rich boyfriend. And to make it up to her rich best friend, she decides to make it the best summer ever by doing a ton of amazing things that definitely cost a lot of money, even though she's apparently strapped for cash, but whatever. So she does all these amazing things, and then also there's this other hot guy who's really nice, who really likes her, and she hangs out with him a couple times, but that makes her hot rich boyfriend mad, even though her hot rich boyfriend hangs out with a hot rich British woman. And then they get into fights about this and stuff. Also, Elle has issues, or what is it? It's not daddy issues, mommy issues. She ends up not going to either of the schools, and then gets old and cuts all her hair off, and then all of them reunite to watch a bunch of high schoolers kiss each other. That's my summary.
You see, if you listen to that whole thing, I hope you walk away with a better understanding of my reluctance to watch these movies.
Anyways, though I think we've gotten some already. Jenna, what were your initial reactions?
I refuse to believe that this girl can get into Harvard and UC Berkeley. I'm sorry. As someone going through that process right now, I don't want to think about that. That made me so mad.
She wasn't even valedictorian or anything. She was just person at random high school. And okay. Also, I just wanted to ask, because you watched the second movie more recently than I did. She had a podcast, right, with her friend about games?
Yep.
Did she say she had 35 followers?
37.
Hang on.
I know, I thought it too.
Oh, yeah, we have at least the same amount as her. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Anyways, so we're both going to get into Harvard now because of our amazing extracurricular that is our podcast.
Yes.
But anyways,
listen, I think we have better grades than her. We could take her.
Oh my God, yeah. But see, the thing is, if she got into Harvard, she did not get any money for it. You know, they're just oh, come. And then, pay all of it. Which she would not be able to do. And I refuse to believe that she could pay for a Harvard education off of a DDR contest.
Yeah, the grand prize was $50,000, but isn't she gonna have to split that with Marco, the guy that she did the competition with? But then there's also probably some taxes, and that's not even enough for 1 year.
Yeah, she's probably walking away with $20,000 after that, which means that she's gonna pay for a quarter of 1 year at Harvard. Oh, honey, working at a beachside restaurant as a waitress also isn't going to give you enough money to do that. So I have a theory that the Flynns are also paying for her college, but we won't get into that. I will, however, say that I think that her decision to not go to either of them and then reconsider later was Probably the most mature decision that she made in the entire series.
It only took her 3 movies. Only 3 movies.
I still don't get what the hype is about Noah Flynn. I never even thought he was cute. Especially when he like got into fights and everything. Like, that's just not attractive, dude. It's not cute. And then Marco exists, and he's like really hot and really nice. But she wants to go back to her toxic boyfriend. And yeah, I'm saying toxic because he's freaking toxic, okay? Ugh, it was annoying.
Like, 3rd movie Noah Flynn, like, he's calmed down a bit. The writers kind of like realized, like, I'm not saying he's perfect, but like 1st movie, excuse me, no, girl,
God.
Stop, do not date this boy. Like, let him go off to Harvard and just live your life in California and forget about him. It's not worth the trouble.
And I mean, even then in this movie, he like, I mean, he's calmed down a little bit, but just the fact that he doesn't, like, that whole thing that happened at the race, he was like, would you give your guy that you kissed the costume you asked me to wear? Because you didn't want to wear it, and they probably didn't have another Mario costume. Okay, that was probably all they had, and he works there, and he probably arranged that entire thing. So letting him participate is probably important. And, you know, giving him the one costume that they had because you didn't want to wear it. I'm sorry, sir. And like he was attacking him. He sent him into the hay bales and stuff. He could have gotten seriously hurt with the way that Noah was acting on that track. And I was like, dude, what?
And like, I get that like Marco was like kind of like trying to like get under his skin and like wasn't being like the absolute nicest, but I mean, neither of them were very nice to each other. And they're also like, he's also the younger one in that like relationship, so
not
like,
to mention,
I don't know.
Not to mention just the fact that when Elle is like breaking down because she's overworked and tired and trying to do a million things, Marco's the one who actually comforted her during that. Whereas when Elle has been booked solid all summer and Noah knows this, and he decides to surprise her without checking with Lee if they had any plans beforehand, and gets blown off, he has a hissy fit. Like, dude, I mean, okay, here's the thing. I love surprises, but only if you confirm that the person you're surprising does not in fact have any plans at that time, because that's such a bad position to put somebody in. You know, like, oh, I put on all of this work for this, but you're telling me right now that you made other plans before this because you didn't know this was happening? How dare you? Oh, you're such a bad girlfriend. Like, dude. Also, he knows. Like, he knows that she's leaving Lee and that that's more important right now. Like, you're supposed to live with her. You'll get your chances. Come on.
Yeah, and like, yes, you're allowed to be upset a little bit that, like, the surprise that you put time and effort into isn't working out the way you want it to, but, like, you should also realize, like, the reason you were putting out this surprise was kind of, like, as an apology and to make this person feel better. So then, if you at least can't enjoy the surprise you made, you don't want to just, like, completely, like, not even do the rest of the reason why you did that surprise. Like, why? I don't understand the reasoning in this movie.
You know, I don't even think he has permission to be upset about it. Maybe upset at himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, but like, I mean, maybe you could be a little disappointed that it didn't work out the way you wanted to, but you can't act on this disappointment. You can't go like huff to bed and then ignore your girlfriend when she gets home because she feels bad that she hurt your feelings because you decided to force her into a position that was like really uncomfortable. I'm sorry, sir, but that's not how this works. You don't get that right. Ugh, I strongly dislike Noah Flynn. I'm sorry.
Like, I think if I was in a relationship and I came home and, like, my partner had like done this surprise and I was like, oh, this is really great, but I have another plan, can we reschedule? I would appreciate it even more if they said, oh yeah, of course, it's your schedule and this was for you, so sure, we can try this again some other time. Like, I think that that's like so much better than just be like, oh, whoops, I did this surprise, or like, you know, like it, like I don't get these movies. I watched like all 3 of them in 2 days and I am no closer to understanding them.
Let's just bring back Peter Kavinsky, okay? Or maybe you know, what's John Ambrose doing right now? He can
I
go to
know.
L. Let's give him to L, okay? I don't know where he is, but he's not with Lara Jean. L is available. Actually, no, he could do better than L. L's annoying.
He could.
But anyways, I don't like L.
He and Marco
either.
need to make a support group. Someone's
L-
written that fanfic. You know someone has, Ava.
Let's not fall down that rabbit hole. Let's not. Let's not. But you know, I don't know. She's just annoying to me. And I don't know if that's a reasonable thing, but like, she's just annoying. I don't like how she makes everything into an issue and she doesn't advocate for herself, I guess might be the problem. Because she like, I mean, they address this a little bit in the movie and stuff, you know? Her entire life revolves around Lee and Noah. But see, that's character development that you should get done in one movie, dude. It's been a problem for 3 movies now, and the fact, like, your characters are supposed to develop over the course of one movie, right? But her character development didn't happen until the very end of the series. And I'm like, dude, what's your character development in the other movies, huh? Where is it? What, that you managed to tame the bad boy, toxic boyfriend that you wanted? Question mark? No. I don't accept it.
Me neither, like, I feel like they could have, like, like, because her character had potential for growth in the other movies. Like, if you really wanted to hammer home, like, the self-advocacy thing in the 3rd movie, okay, but there are other things you can do with her in the other 2 movies that don't have to revolve around, like, her boyfriend or her best friend. Like, there's more to a person than their interpersonal relationships.
And the fact that she only has one friend. Like, if you look at the people who came to her parties and everything that she was super happy to see and everything, they were, like, the people that she didn't like in the first movie. They were, like, the people who bullied her and stuff. Like, the guy who, like, smacked her butt. And then, like, the girls who, like, teased her and stuff. And then they're, like, her best friends by the end of the series. I'm like, what? Why don't you have any other friends other than Lee? I mean, now I know why you're so interdependent on him. He's your only friend.
I know, like, why don't, like, they, like, if they want to do the whole self-advocacy thing, why don't they show us her actually forming other relationships so she's not dependent on these people, that she's starting to realize, like, oh, wait, maybe I have to have my own life outside of this, and I have to figure out who I am, so I go and find other people. Like, I feel like that would also hit home the message more than just her deciding to go to another college, because, well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does she make other friends? Like, who else is in her life?
And speaking of there being more to a person, can we just mention really quick how royally the screenwriters screwed over Rachel as a character?
Oh my god.
Like,
Poor Rachel.
I thought she had a lot of potential to be an interesting character. She could have had interactions with Elle, but they didn't want that to happen. What is that thing? There's a test or whatever that's like,
oh, I have that somewhere.
It's like, oh, the story must have 2 named female characters having a conversation that's not about a man. or something. What
Hold
is that
on,
called?
it's in my saved on Instagram.
Okay.
Keep talking, I'll find it.
But anyways, I don't know if this movie would pass that. Because, like, all of the conversations end up being about Lee, or Noah, or Elle's dad, or something. And, I mean, she has a conversation with Chloe at one point, but it's about how Noah broke up with her. And she has this conversation, or she doesn't have a conversation with Rachel, actually. They don't really have a conversation, ever. And I'm like, dude, there is more to a character than being a girlfriend. Like, that's literally Rachel's sole purpose in life. I don't even know if I can ship her and Lee. Like, they get married at the end of the movie, and I don't know if I can ship them, because she's just has zero development whatsoever, and, like, the rest of the movie is spent developing Elle, Lee, and Noah. But, like, what about Rachel? How do I know if she's a good fit for Lee, huh? No, I don't. I do not know. Ugh.
I think developing is a bit too kind, but I pulled it up on Instagram and I knew it started with a B, but it's called like the Bechdel, the Bechdel.
Oh, the Bechdel test, yeah.
Yeah, it's when two or more women talking to each other about something other than a man. And there are like a couple other different like cinema theory type ones as well, but that's really the relevant one.
Okay, so tell me, can you have an example from this last movie specifically of when two or more named female characters had a conversation about something other than a man?
Can we, how are we defining conversation? Like, how kind are we being?
Like, well, what do you mean by how kind? What's coming to your brain?
Because I'm thinking of that one scene at the party where Elle is like having a toast with the OMG girls, and that's about it.
Oh.
Oh, and there's the scene where she's talking to Linda about why she was like overreacting when they were playing Monopoly, and she was explaining why the certain piece had meaning to her.
So there are two moments.
But I also don't know if like that's like the two female characters are supposed to be like more like prominent characters, because these conversations are with like side characters that really are barely in the movie.
Well, I mean, they have names. Well, yeah, they have names technically, so it counts. But like, I don't know. There is still a lot in this movie that was like, I mean, I guess we can count it as passing the Bechdel test, but like still, it's like, honey, you have value, you have worth. Not as much as Laura Jean, but you do.
Oh my god, yeah, like these movies made me so nostalgic for the Laura Jean movies, because I was like, oh man, those were so much better. Like, by a long shot.
Somewhere that this movie really felt flat. I don't know if I can really say flat, but it bit itself in the butt a little bit. It had too many things going on. Like, too many conflicts. You know, they started off with the one that we knew was going to happen, right? Berkeley versus Harvard, Noah versus Flynn, which I didn't even know you could put off decisions for college, like, well into July. I didn't know that.
You can.
Because, like, I don't think that, especially not with Harvard and Berkeley. Like, I feel like if you don't make a decision on time, Harvard would just be like, okay, fine, reapply in the fall, or something, I don't know. But it's like, okay, whatever. But, like, we knew that was going to be one of the conflicts. We knew that was going to be the thing for this movie. And then they decided to add Marco back in. And then they decided to add Linda in. And then they decided to make the beach house leaving be a thing. And I'm like, because then they had the bucket list thing, and all this stuff, man. I'm like, dude, that's a lot to keep track of. I mean, I don't know what's going on in this movie, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. A lot of underdeveloped, rushed, annoying stuff that just makes me mad. I don't know.
Like, I get why they would want to use the beach house as, like, kind of an inciting incident in the plot, but they don't have to throw in the whole thing of it being, like, sold, because if they were going for some, like, thematic material there, it didn't land. But, like, I get why they wanted, like, a change of scenery and to introduce, like, a kind of, like, setting that kind of sets the stage for the main character having these, like, scheduling conflicts and to just really drive home, like, the whole divide between the two characters that she's going between. But they definitely tried to fit way too much into this movie. Like, at this point, just make a Kissing Booth 4. Like, please don't. I am not encouraging that. On the record, that is so not what I want. But at that point, like, if you have that many ideas, don't try to throw them all into one movie. Like, if you've made 3 of these already, Netflix will probably let you do another.
But, like, I mean, I get what they were trying to do. They were like, let's just put all of the closure into one movie. Okay, let's make Elle move on from her mom. Let's make all of the kids move on from their childhood beach house. Let's make Elle move on from Noah and Flynn. Let's make Elle move on from Marco. I'm like, okay, Elle doesn't need to move on from everything in the entire world. I really didn't like... Well, it's not that I didn't like, it's just, if I could get rid of one of these conflicts, it would be Linda. Because it was just so underdeveloped. It was so just random, and it didn't need to exist. I mean, it could have been good if you developed a bit more, but they were too busy with, like, Mario Kart and stuff. So, I would get rid of, I would axe Linda. I mean, not that Elle's dad can't have happiness, but he can have happiness off screen.
You know, and, like, I just didn't like her dad in any of the movies anyway. I don't know if that's mean, but I feel like he always just said, like, the exact wrong thing for the moment, and, like, it was never addressed. I was like, are the writers actually trying to pass this off as, like, good advice to his child?
Are you
like,
talking about
like the scene where, like, she runs out of the house
Yeah.
when they're playing Monopoly and he's like, I'm disappointed in you? Like, I'm not saying, like, he can't say that, but, like, your daughter is clearly going through some things right now, and I don't think this is what she needs to hear in this moment.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get that what she said was out of line, but also there's, like, a reason what she said was out of line. And it's not anything against Linda, and I feel like Linda could gather that. She understood. But, like, as a father, you should probably go, like, and be there emotionally for your kid instead of emotionally for your girlfriend. I don't know. I feel like even if Linda didn't understand or something, I feel like he should be like, on Elle's side emotionally, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also just funny because throughout the movies, like, he like, never supported her dating Noah, and, like, I'm not sure, like, how much she told him about, like, maybe wanting to go to Harvard, but he was, like, never super supportive of that, and, like, honestly, as a viewer of this movie, like, I get it, but at the same time, I was like, there was never a scene where he was like, you know, like, I know you, and, like, I love you, so I understand that this is the decision you're going to make, and I'll be with you no matter what happens. Like, there was never any of that. He was like, you know, I can't support you going out with Noah, and I was like, I agree, but at the same time, are you going to do anything about the fact that this is still gonna happen anyway? And it bothered me.
Yeah, he's not the most, I mean, he is supportive, but not the most supportive, I guess. Cause, like, he works hard for her and stuff, and I'll give him that, but, like,
He has an odd way of showing it.
yeah. But anyways, we're not the biggest fans of her dad, I guess.
I mean, he's barely in the movie, so it doesn't matter.
Still a fan of Marco. I think that she should have ended up with him. I want one of these movies to like introduce the like main love interest, right? And make him super flawed and like bad for the main character, right? And then make her be in a relationship with him though. And then present this other guy who makes the main love interest jealous and everything. And he like guilts the main girl or whatever into feeling bad about talking to this other guy. And then she dumps the main love interest and goes with the other guy and they live happily ever after.
So essentially the exact opposite of like all of these like teen angst movies that come out on Netflix these days.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
I want a teen rom-com with healthy relationship choices. Is that so much to ask?
It is, Ava. It's way too much to ask.
Oh, okay.
This is why I read books.
Oh my god. Hey, To All the Boys was a book.
That is true, and I read that book, and I enjoyed that book.
But I don't think Peter Kavinsky was that bad.
He was no. I give Peter Kay that, and also as I'm saying that, I remember that these are apparently based off of a Kissing Booth book.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how strongly they are.
Yeah,
there's a book
based on the 2012 novel by the same name. So, yeah. Okay then. Well, your book argument kind of fell through there a little bit.
Oh my god, I just looked up the cover, and the person that I'm pretty sure is supposed to be Elle on the cover looks exactly like Rachel from the book.
I know, right?
No, from the movie.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You know who else I would have axed from this movie?
Who?
Chloe. She was a bit extra. I mean, I get that she was a character that was, like, in the other movies, but, like, still didn't need her.
Yeah, I mean, like, I liked Chloe compared to everybody else, but I agree. She definitely wasn't necessary, and I feel like they only wheeled her out when either Noah needed a talking to, or when they were trying to inject even more conflict into the movie. Which, like, you can do that in other ways that don't involve us seeing, like, yet another character on screen.
It's just that her character purpose in this movie could have been served by Rachel. You know, like, having that conversation with Elle at the end instead of Rachel, like, eavesdropping? Question mark? And, like, they said at the beginning of the, movie that Rachel became friends with Noah. So, like, there's no reason for Chloe to be there when Rachel is existing perfectly fine, and she could do some talking to for Noah, or just be there for Elle, like, give Elle another friend that's not Lee, maybe? And I'm like, dude, give Rachel something to do. Come on! She's like a perfectly good character that needs development, and you're not giving her any, and it's so frustrating. She could even have served, like, well, not fully served the role of Marco, but, like, parts of it. Like, Marco's almost unnecessary in this movie. It's like, I get that he has to do some, like, certain conflict stuff that nobody else could have done. But still, like, come on. I feel so bad for Rachel. I feel like Rachel's actress is probably like, so do you want me to do anything in the scene? They'd be like, no, just, like, sit there and laugh when Noah says something. She'd be like, how much are you paying me again? Like, why am I
like,
here?
it's true, though.
I mean, this poor dude, or poor girl, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, maybe she could probably do better than Lee, too, because Lee is a bit childish. Like, he does get on my nerves, too. Like, Elle decides to go to Harvard, and Lee is like, how dare you! Even back when he thought that, like, she was on the waitlist for both and just got off the waitlist of Harvard, he still got mad at her. When it would have, like, theoretically, if that were true, it would have been something that nobody could have controlled. And even then, that also her decision to go to Harvard also bothered me because she should have gone to Berkeley, but like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why she thought going to Harvard was a good idea. Like, that's a school that if you don't know what you want to do, like, it also, she was going to try to go to, like, these two, like, really great schools, but she also didn't really know what she wanted to do, and it's like, maybe you transfer somewhere after a year? You know? Like, you don't, like, have to go all out your freshman year.
Like, I would have, if I were her, I would have picked Berkeley because, first of all, it's in-state for her, so that would have been a lot cheaper for her in, like, every other way. But also, not because she has been planning it with Lee for so long, but partially because of Lee, because it's more reliable to think that Lee is gonna be your friend for the next 4 years, or at least like it doesn't even have to be the next 4 years because they could make other friends at Berkeley, right? And you know, she's in state, she could do whatever, but then like flying all the way across country to go to Harvard and spend like $8 million to get a degree and live off campus with your boyfriend
in Boston
that has been volatile in the past. Because she's not getting a dorm there. She would have been living with him, which means that if they broke up, she would have nowhere to go. She would just be like by herself. And like that's just dumb. I mean, I know you're not supposed to ever plan to break up in a relationship, but like you kind of should. Like, you kind of should think, if I travel cross country with my boyfriend and live with him and then we break up, what am I gonna do? You know? Like, if you're in state and you're going to Berkeley with your friend, that's great. But also, he's your friend. And I mean, like, you could live together at Berkeley with your friend. Who cares? But if you guys stop being friends, you're in state with your family. And also, like so you could go to your family while you're waiting to get housing on campus, but also like it's just a friend too. I mean, not that it's just a friend, but like you're gonna make other friends at college, hopefully. I don't know.
And also it's frustrating because also most of the time when you go to college you can't even get housing off campus anyway. They make you get a dorm.
Yeah. And
they make you live there.
Yeah. I don't know, it's annoying. It's just all annoying. And like, Lee and Elle couldn't have been roommates anyways, unless they were off campus. So. And I still don't understand what their plan was for that live together at Berkeley thing. They were gonna go up to Berkeley and get an apartment for a week? ? What? I don't get it. I didn't get that part.
There's a lot of other things I don't get about this movie, so honestly, I just heard that and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
But the Mario Kart thing looked really fun. I'll give them that. That looked fun.
Yeah, no, that was nice. I really wish that scene just didn't turn into a fight between Marco and Noah, essentially, because then it would have been fun and I would have enjoyed it, but like, no. They had to throw in the forced conflict. Like, can't we just enjoy the Mario Kart shenanigans?
It looked a little dangerous with the pies to the face while driving, but it did look really fun. I think that would be so cool. Like, do a go-kart race in costume. Fantastic. Do it. I love it. But yeah, they I don't like all the boy fighting in every opportunity they have in these movies. Like, can guys just stop fighting over girls? And like, can you just get a boyfriend who doesn't look at every man who looks at you and say, I have a taste for blood today?
Just, men, stop fighting over women. It's not as cute as you think it is.
Like, I don't need a display of testosterone, okay? Because being able to control it is more of a display of testosterone, in my opinion. Because I remember, like, I was at a place with my sister, and these two guys were, like, hanging out with us, because they, like, asked for our snaps, and we were like, okay, then they were hanging out with us for a little bit, and they would, like, do things like or not even play fight, but, like, they would just, like, start wrestling. Or, like, one of them was like, oh, who do you think would win in a wrestling fight? And we picked the guy who was, like, taller, and he'd be like, oh my god, why do you think that he's better, blah, blah, blah. And, like, this stuff, and I was like, dude, it's not cute. It's not cute when you do that. That's weird. I also feel like Noah's the kind of guy to say no homo, so I'm like, eh.
Oh, yeah. He would be.
He'd be like a nice guy, and then he would say no homo. And I'd be like, oh, never mind, bye. Fare thee well,
bye.
sir. This has been fun, not. Oh my god, I would have paid like $8 million for Elle to have ended up with like Tupperware or whatever his face was at the end.
Tuppen?
Yeah, him.
Shows up at the end of the third movie with him.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think that would be cuter. Because the first red flag that Noah ever did was make it so that Tuppen couldn't go on a date with Elle. Not to mention the fact that after Noah and Elle broke up in this movie, he goes, I'm not gonna stop protecting her. Like, what?
Dude! I thought we were over this in the first movie.
Like, honey, you're broken up. You kind of have to. Like, you can't just stalk her or something. I don't understand what he meant by protect her, but, like, is this kind of like an if I can't have her, nobody can?
Because, like, on the one hand, like, I can get what he was trying to say, but also, like, if he had phrased it like, we might be broken up, but I will always still love her, like, that is a sentiment people have, like, oh, like, even though we're not dating anymore, this is still a person that, like, I have, like, a profound amount of memories with, and, like, they essentially grew up together. So, like, I would get that sentiment, but the fact that he was like, I'll always still protect her, and I was like, no, I was never a fan of your protection in the first place.
It's like, she doesn't need it, you know? And at the end of the movie, were they implying that they get back together? Because, ew.
Like, it took 3 movies for her to prioritize herself, and then she just goes back to one of them, and it's like, no! Shouldn't you have learned at college that being with Noah is red flag country over here? Like, no, don't do it.
Also, I don't like that Rachel and Lee got back together. I mean, I know that they were cute or whatever, but also, I find it hard to believe that Rachel couldn't do better for herself during college at any point in time.
I would have appreciated it if they were like, oh, like, they were still friends and they were still gonna hang out, but they had both, like, found other people or something.
I would have liked it more if the movie ended with them all meeting up at the fair, at the kissing booth, but they all had their own partners or something. And they were, like, complete strangers. You know? I feel like that would have been a better way to signal passage of time than making Elle shave her head and giving Rachel whatever that freaking wig was. Oh, I hated their hairs. Oh my god. And why were they the only one who had to change their hair to signify that the time has passed? Like, why didn't Lee and Noah have to do anything? They should have given Noah facial hair.
Hmm? They just put like, Noah in a suit, and it's like, oh, he got like a law degree or something. Like, okay, sure.
I swear, he works at like an accounting firm or something. His coworkers are like Doug and Phil.
Yeah, I don't get so much of this movie at all.
See, the thing is, I mean, like, if they came out with a Kissing Booth 4, I would watch it.
Well, I feel like at this point I would have to watch it.
Well, I don't know, it's just weird because there's like garbage films like this that are like being churned out by Netflix all the time, and I still like eat that up, you know? I eat it like I don't know, goldfish. And I I don't know if it's because it's just like mindless entertainment and I don't have to think about it because the creators didn't think about it. Um or if I actually enjoy it, but like I don't know, there's something about there's something about it. I can gripe about it all day, but like I still do like movies like this in a way. It's a different like than like the way I like take a shot every time I say like than the way I like actual good movies. I don't know. I do like a good romance though. This isn't necessarily a good romance. There are other good romances, better teen romance options for you out there. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, like, I can appreciate a good romance or a good, like, teen dramedy movie, but I have my limits.
Oh.
This far exceeds them.
You know what's really good and you should watch it?
What?
The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. It's, like, kind of romance, kind of not romance.
But it sounds really familiar.
I think it was a book too. I think
I got the ad for that a couple times. Is it like on Prime?
It's on Prime, I think, yeah.
Oh, that's why I haven't watched it.
I think it was really, I watched that on Valentine's Day. That and I think I watched To All the Boys and or To All the Boys like 2 and then like Kissing Booth like 2 or something, I don't know. These are the movies that I watch on Valentine's Day. That and Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart, which is like a whole fever dream tradition of mine, that we're not going to get into right now. But The Map of Tiny Perfect Things was like really good. I like the main actress. I really like everything that she does. She's amazing. Her name's Catherine Newton, if you don't know her. She's pretty cool. She was in The Society. She was also in Supernatural, so of course I love her. But no, it was like a romance, but the like kissing and stuff wasn't the main thing of the movie. You know, the main emotional climax of the movie wasn't romance, if that makes sense. And like I don't know, the main characters both had their own like vibes and everything, and I mean, I guess in ways she's kind of like N-Log or like Manic Pixie Dream Girl type of thing, but I did feel like she was like her own person. You know? I don't know. I think that was a really good teen romance drama kind of movie thing that I highly recommend.
I will keep that in mind if I see it in the library.
Oh my god, I also recently watched, in terms of romance movies, I watched All My Life recently on HBO. That one is a time. It's starring Mike Chang and he like dies. Spoiler alert. But like if you know the it's based on a true story, so it's not really a spoiler. But yeah, it's like another one of those terminally ill romance movies that have been done to death, but at least this was a true story, so it gets extra points.
Yay! Extra points. I mean, yeah, I don't watch a lot of... Well, no, that's not true, but, like, it's not always the thing I gravitate towards, but that's just personal preference, man. Because sometimes I just don't want to commit to watching a rom-com.
If you want to watch a really good romance that you will finish watching and be like, what just happened and why did I enjoy that? Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart. As I mentioned before, I watch that every year on Valentine's Day when I'm like inherently alone. And it's this animated movie that it was originally French because this like French rock band wrote like an album or something to be like a musical or whatever, and then they I don't know if they dubbed it to be American or if it's just like really weird in American. If you guys have seen the Les Mis movie, the girl who plays Eponine is in this, is in Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart. But it's like, it's really good, but it's like really strange. It's like Tim Burton on steroids.
Is Jack the Ripper in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I'm looking at the cast and someone is cast as Jack the Ripper. So, I mean, I guess that's all the information I need to know.
For like a song.
For a song?
Yeah. He comes in, he sings a song on a train, and then he disappears.
Well, okay then. I believe you. If I didn't already.
It's so good.
I'll have to keep an eye out for it then.
It's like... it's amazing. It's just so strange. And like, it would be so cool as a stage production though, because it's all steampunk and like, there's a lot of this like cuckoo clockwork noises as percussion and everything, which are really cool. And there would be some epic dance sequences, including Jack the Ripper scene. Locomotive. But it's really it's weird, but so good. But
it's
so
time
weird.
Is what you're saying.
If you don't like weird stuff, you might not enjoy it as much as I do. Like if you're gonna be off-put, if you're gonna be off-put by the fact that some things don't make sense and that it's kind of weird, then you probably want to not watch it, because then you'll be like, ew, Ava was wrong, this isn't good, and then you're gonna get mad at me and you're gonna not subscribe. Which you should do. Everybody who's listening right now should subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're not on YouTube, you can probably follow us wherever you are. It's really cool that you're listening outside of YouTube. Hi. If you are on YouTube, like, comment, tell us what you think about this movie. What are your favorite romance movies, okay? Because I need more things to absorb. So if I can stream it on like Prime, Hulu, HBO Max, or Netflix, or Disney Plus, hook me up, dude, because I'm gonna need more content for, Valentine's Day 2022. Oh my god, wait, the next Valentine's Day is 22?
I mean, yeah.
How? How is that? I'm sorry, guys. How is that? Jenna, we only have one more Valentine's Day before we were, like, in college.
Yeah. I want to think about that, Ava.
But yeah, tell us about your favorite romance movies. Tell us what you thought about Kissing Booth, and if you have any, any preferences when it comes to these weird freaking romance movies that Netflix turns out for its teen audiences. Tell us if you agree with the stuff that we said in this podcast. If you disagree, let us know too. Correction, I don't really have much of a life, so I'll answer your comments in the comment section below. hit that bell icon. I never tell people to do that. Hit the bell icon. That's fun. I don't know if it does anything because I hit the bell icon on like Film Theory and stuff, and like I only get I get notifications from them sometimes, but I also get notifications from people I don't have the bell on for. So I don't know what it does, but you can hit it and tell me if it does anything. You know what? Actually, here's my challenge to you all. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. And then if it works next time we post a video, go into our comments and tell us that it worked.
Because otherwise we need to call the bell maintenance people, and it's like this whole big problem, and we have to figure it out. And then it's probably just because the YouTube algorithm is being super weird. So like, tell us this so we don't have to tell you to, you know, hit the bell. And then you're like, no, we don't want to hit the bell because the bell doesn't do anything. So just like, you know, let us know.
Yeah, join our notification squad. That'd be cool. You can also follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Instagram is currently undergoing maintenance because we don't know what we want to do with it right now because what we were doing with it was kind of boring. So if you guys have any requests of things that we could do on Instagram, let us know because that's cool. Our Twitter, we do we do like positive reviews of things that we're watching outside of the podcast because we want to have good vibes on there. Also, I have recently been reacting to the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer on there. If you want to talk to me through there, because nobody liked my tweets about that, which made me kind of sad.
I should get a Twitter just to like your tweets to make sure that someone likes them.
Aww. Oh my god, Jenna, you're gonna make me cry. And on our TikTok, we just kind of put highlights from our podcast. I usually go a few months and then spam you guys. So that's how we operate on there. Follow us on all of those things because it would make us really happy. And it would mean a lot. And we would love you for it. But I think that's all. I think we pretty much covered it. It was mostly just a rant about this movie sucking. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you're still listening, we love you. If you do any of the things we asked you to, we love you even more. You're even more special than the people who just listened. The more of those things that you do, the more special you are. So if you want to be really special, do all of them. And yeah, so come back this weekend for regular videos from us where we show our faces. Come back next week for another episode of this podcast. And we'll see you next time. Jenna, anything to add?
You know, not really. Just the apathy I felt watching this trilogy was so great. That honestly, I don't have anything else to add. I have no snarky comments because I got to that final scene where Elle is like, oh, well, I mean, you know how this happened. It's like, no, Elle, please tell us once again why all of this happened, just to firmly make me sad again. But she didn't give me that. So I'm just never going to think about these movies ever again.
You know, that was a lot of talking for having nothing to add.
I try.
Okay, bye!